Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Canada Truth Channel, where Canada, the illusion of freedom and system of control is exposed. Today, we are back to the Constitution. I'm going to start with the Constitution of the United States. One of the greatest documents ever written. A document written by the people, for the people, ratified by the people of the United States. The first words in this document, we the people of the United States. The first paragraph of this document, we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. We the people. For those of you in the United States that have not read the Constitution, shame on you. For those of you in the United States that do not support and are not willing to defend the Constitution of the United States, shame on you. People have fought and died to protect your rights. And if you do not support and will not defend those rights, those unalienable rights, you don't deserve them. Period. The United States is not a democracy, despite what all the news pundits and ignorant people in your government may state. It's a constitutional republic by design. The founding fathers knew that democracy was a less than perfect system, I'll say. In Canada, our founding document, the British North America Act, 1867, nowhere in that document will you find the words, we the people. Nowhere in the Canadian founding document will you find any rights of any people of Canada. They're not there. This document was a private act written by the British Imperial Parliament on behalf of Queen Victoria to establish her executive government of and over Canada. It was not written by the people for the people. It always has been and always will be a private act of the British Imperial Parliament. The British North America Act, in 1982, the name was changed to the Constitution Act, 1982. Now, changing the name from the British North America Act to the Constitution Act does not make it a constitution. If you drive a Ford and you call it a Chevy, it's still a Ford. If you own a horse and call it a cow, it's still a horse. Now, people will say, well, Canada has a Bill of Rights, and Canada has the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, and you are correct. The Charter of Rights and Freedoms, Section 2 and Sections 7 to 15, list rights of Canadians. But then, when you get down to Section 33, the notwithstanding clause says something different. What in the world is a notwithstanding clause? Let's read it first and find out. Exception where express declaration, 33(1). Parliament or the legislature of a province may expressly declare in an act of Parliament or of the legislature, as the case may be, that an act or a provision thereof shall operate notwithstanding a provision included in Section 2 or Sections 7 to 15 of this Charter. Now, what does that mean? It means, despite listing some rights in Section 2 and Section 7 to 15, an act of Parliament or the legislature can take them away. Does that sound like a constitution to you? Does that sound like democracy to you? I think not. By the way, Canada is not a democracy either. It is a constitutional monarchy, so they tell us. The Constitution Act, 1867, as I have stated, the name was changed by Pierre Elliott Trudeau in his Canada Act scheme, where he created the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, and Queen Elizabeth II gave royal assent to the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. The illusion of freedom in a system of control. Let me explain. For all of you constitutional experts, constitutional lawyers, and everyone else out there, when you go to justice.ca and you read the Constitution Act 1867, you should notice something very important is missing. A very specific requirement is missing from this document. And you can see I've highlighted some endnotes, which we're going to discuss right now. Now, anyone reading acts, statutes, regulations, or codes, number one, it's very, very important that you understand the definitions that they use in the specific act, statute, regulation, or code, because they change the meaning of words from common usage to legal definitions. But they don't tell you. Why would they do that? Anyhow, back to the endnotes. So these are the endnotes that I showed you right here. Let's have a look. We're going to look at the first three endnotes. And the first one, the enacting clause was repealed by the Statute Law Revision Act, 1893. It read as follows. Be it therefore enacted and declared by the Queen's most excellent Majesty, by and with the advice and consent of the Lords Spiritual and Temporal and Commons in this present Parliament assembled, and by the authority of the same as follows. The enacting clause is missing because it was repealed by the Statute Law Revision Act in 1893. It was not replaced, it was repealed. And note number 2. As amended by the Constitution Act 1982, which came into force April 17th, 1982, the section originally read as follows. This act may be cited as the British North America Act, 1867. Once again, changing the name does not make it a constitution. It is deliberate deception and fraud on behalf of Pierre Elliott Trudeau and Queen Elizabeth II to continue the illusion of freedom and system of control in Canada. And note number 3. Section 2, repealed by the Statute Law Revision Act 1893, read as follows. The provisions of this act, referring to Her Majesty the Queen, extend also to the heirs and successors of Her Majesty, Kings and Queens of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland. Repealed, 1893. Queen Victoria died in 1901, and as of the enactment of the Statute Law Revision Act 1893, her executive government and authority of and over Canada no longer extended to her heirs and successors. Now, here we are, executive power. Declaration of executive power in the Queen, Queen Victoria. The executive government and authority of and over Canada is hereby declared to continue and be vested in the Queen, Queen Victoria, who died in 1901. Under what legal and lawful authority did Pierre Elliott Trudeau and Queen Elizabeth II enact the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms or any other act, statute, regulation, or code since 1893? Once again, all of you constitutional experts, constitutional lawyers, legal eagles, Viva Free, Robert Barnes, Runkle of the Bailey, please explain to the people of Canada under what legal and lawful authority did Pierre Elliott Trudeau, Queen Elizabeth II, or any Prime Minister or executive government, federal government of Canada, enact any act, statute, regulation, or code? Under what legal, lawful authority? Please explain to the people of Canada. They need to know. That being said, Pierre Poilievre, he's very popular. I like a lot of what he has to say. But the problems in Canada, yes, Justin Trudeau is an absolute nightmare. He's a wannabe dictator. He proved that through the Freedom Convoy. Excuse me. The Charter of Rights and Freedoms went out the window. He locked people up. He froze people's bank accounts. Under what legal, lawful authority? And now there's all these constitutional challenges and court cases and all of this madness going on, but not one person has challenged the jurisdiction. And all it takes is opening up that document, opening up that endnote to the judge, who, by the way, in Canada is appointed by the government. No one's ever brought this up in a court of law as far as I know. And again, when I've spoken and showed constitutional lawyers, this is their job, defending the Constitution of Canada, had not even read the endnotes, did not know that the enacting clause of our foundational document was repealed in 1893. Once again, it was not replaced, it was repealed. Period. Section 2, extending Queen Victoria's executive government and authority of and over Canada, extending to her heirs and successors, repealed 1893. Queen Victoria died in 1901. Canada has a de facto government. What is a de facto government, you may ask? De facto, when you look it up, means illegal, unlawful, yet it exists. And our court system, the judges are appointed by the government. So it's no surprise when a judge in court says, I'm not hearing any charter challenges. I'm not going to hear that argument, because really, do you think a judge is going to let it out in court that they have no legal or lawful authority? I don't think so. A judge is not going to bite the hand that feeds them. And there we have it. So, where does that leave Canadians? It leaves us in a very difficult position because we don't have a legal and lawful government, and no one should be surprised at Justin Trudeau going completely off the rails into absolute tyranny. And it's only going to get worse until the people of Canada are properly educated, and the people of every province hold constitutional conventions We, the people, write a constitution for their province, by the people, for the people, ratified by the people. Nothing is going to change. Once constitutional conventions are held in each province and constitutions are ratified and established, you can have a referendum. Every province can vote. Do we legally and lawfully and peacefully create the country that we all believe in? Or do we continue down this road of tyranny? But until the people of Canada are properly educated, and not only them, the lawyers, the premiers, nothing's going to change for the better. Electing a new person or a new party in a system based on deliberate deception and fraud is not going to help us. Do I like what Pierre Poilievre has to say? Yes, I do. But he's a career politician. He's been in this system his entire life. I don't expect Pierre Poilievre or any other career politician in Canada to stand up and say, wait a minute, this is the root cause of our problems. This is what needs to happen. Do I think Justin Trudeau has to go? Absolutely. Absolutely. But voting Justin Trudeau out of office, if it's even possible, considering our system of elections, our system of control, our system of selection, it's not possible. It's just doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. That's all I have for you today, ladies and gentlemen. Please use the links I've provided and read the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, the British North America Act 1867, and the Constitution of the United States, because we cannot vote our way out of this. Our only way out of this situation is to legally, lawfully, and peacefully write a constitution for each province. It's not difficult. Thank you for watching. Please stay tuned.